So, a president decided to mine Bitcoin using a volcano. A country banned crypto so hard that 75% of the world's Bitcoin mining just disappeared overnight, and then quietly came back anyway. A government slapped a 30% tax on crypto to control the market, and accidentally handed 90% of it to Binance. And one nation is out here stealing billions of dollars in cryptocurrency and using the money to fund nuclear weapons. Oh, and they're also applying for jobs at your company, with AI-generated faces. Welcome to C Daily Buzz. Today, 4 governments, 4 absolutely unhinged decisions, and the crypto markets that had to deal with all of it. Let's start with a man who called himself, and I am not joking, the world's coolest dictator. That was the actual Twitter bio of Nayib Bukele, president of El Salvador. In June 2021, Bukele walked onto a stage at a Bitcoin conference in Miami and announced that El Salvador would become the first country on earth to make Bitcoin legal tender. Not just legal, mandatory. Every business had to accept it. His party passed the Bitcoin law in 72 hours. Day one looked wild. The government launched the Chivo wallet app, handed every Salvadoran $30 in Bitcoin just for signing up, and installed over 200 Bitcoin ATMs nationwide. Then came the actual launch day, September 7, 2021. The Chivo app crashed immediately. Bitcoin dropped 11% on the exact day El Salvador adopted it. And on the streets of the capital, protesters set the Bitcoin ATMs on fire, signs reading "Bukele Dictator" while actual ATMs burned in the background. Meanwhile, Bukele posted a selfie in the middle of a UN General Assembly speech. He told the world, "More people will see this selfie than will hear this speech." He wasn't wrong. But behind the headlines, 86% of Salvadoran businesses never completed a single Bitcoin transaction. Only 2% of remittances went through crypto wallets. That $30 sign-up bonus? Most people withdrew it as cash immediately and deleted the app. The IMF had a $1.3 billion loan on hold because of the Bitcoin risk. Bukele's response? He announced El Salvador would buy 1 Bitcoin every single day, forever. He posted, "We bought the dip" memes on every price drop. He announced Bitcoin City, an entire city shaped like a Bitcoin logo, powered by a volcano, 0 income tax. Never built, still doesn't exist. He also actually mined Bitcoin using geothermal steam from the Tacapa volcano, 300 machines, total mined over 3 years, 474 BTC, about $29 million. Not exactly moving GDP, but the optics were spectacular. Then in December 2024, the IMF offered a deal, a $1.4 billion loan, if Bukele agreed to stop forcing Bitcoin as payment and stop buying BTC with public funds. El Salvador's Congress passed the reform bill within minutes. Bukele signed it, then immediately posted on X, "We are not stopping," and started buying Bitcoin again. As of April 2026, El Salvador holds around 6,180 BTC, worth roughly $570 million. One of his own advisors later admitted, "We call it the Great Rebranding. It was genius. Instead of paying millions to a PR firm, we just adopted Bitcoin." He used Bitcoin as a national marketing campaign, fought the IMF to a draw, and somehow came out still buying. In 2021, China controlled 75% of all Bitcoin mining on Earth. The entire province of Sichuan alone was generating more Bitcoin than most countries. Then, in September 2021, China made all crypto activity illegal. Mining, trading, everything banned. The result was instant. China's hash rate dropped to essentially 0 within weeks. Mining machines that cost 4,000 yuan in April were selling for scrap at 700 yuan by June. The world's largest mining nation went completely dark overnight. What followed looked like a heist movie. Billions of dollars in mining equipment needed to move, fast. Miners packed up rigs and shipped them to Kazakhstan, Texas, Russia, Canada. But a massive wave came here, to Southeast Asia. Abandoned shopping malls in Sarawak, Malaysia became secret mining farms. Warehouses in Laos filled up with machines. Industrial sites in Indonesia started humming. The Malaysian government later estimated $550 million in electricity stolen by illegal crypto miners. Police raids became routine, finding thousands of machines hidden in factories, malls, and residential buildings. One raid found miners had tapped directly into the national power grid. The rest of the world picked up the slack. The US went from nearly nothing to becoming the world's #1 mining country. Kazakhstan surged. The global hash rate, which had crashed 50% overnight, fully recovered within 6 months. And here's the punchline. By 2025, 4 years after the total ban, China was back at 20% of global Bitcoin mining. The miners either never fully left or quietly returned. Cheap electricity in Xinjiang and Sichuan was simply too attractive. Local authorities turned a blind eye. The most dramatic crypto ban in history, and Bitcoin didn't even flinch. India had one of the largest crypto markets on the planet. Over 100 million users, a thriving ecosystem of exchanges and startups. And then, in April 2022, the government decided to, quote, regulate it. A 30% flat tax on all crypto gains. No deductions, no loss offsets. If you lose money on one coin, you cannot claim it against profits on another. Plus, a 1% tax deducted at source on every single transaction. That means every trade, every swap, 1% disappears automatically. The result was immediate. Within 1 week of the new rules taking effect, Wazir X, India's largest exchange, saw volume collapse 74% in 4 days. CoinDCX fell 70%, ZebPay down 54%. But here's the part where you have to laugh, because it hurts. Indian traders didn't stop trading. They just opened Binance, and Bybit, and KuCoin. Every offshore platform the Indian government had zero oversight over. By 2023, 90% of Indian crypto trading had moved offshore. By 2025, 91.5%. Nearly $58 billion in Indian crypto volume on foreign platforms, beyond India's tax reach entirely. The government wanted to raise revenue. Failed. The money went offshore. They wanted to reduce speculation. Failed. Speculation just moved somewhere they couldn't see it. They wanted transparency. Failed. Offshore exchanges have zero Indian KYC. They lost the market and the tax revenue at the same time. India achieved the single worst possible outcome. Less control, less money, and a crypto industry that now mostly lives somewhere else, on platforms they can't touch, can't tax, and can't regulate. Everything we've talked about so far is wild, but nothing compares to this. North Korea's Lazarus Group has stolen $6.75 billion in cryptocurrency, total, since 2017, confirmed by Chainalysis and US intelligence agencies, and they keep accelerating. In 2024, $1.34 billion stolen, 61% of all crypto theft worldwide. In 2025 alone, $2.02 billion, 76% of all crypto stolen globally. One nation, 3/4 of the planet's crypto crime. The single biggest heist, February 21st, 2025. Lazarus Group hit Bybit, a Dubai-based exchange with Singapore operations. $1.5 billion, gone in one move. The largest crypto theft in history. They compromised a third-party signing tool used by Bybit, injected malicious code into what looked like a completely routine wallet transfer, and by the time anyone noticed, 401,000 ETH had vanished. The FBI attributed it to North Korea within 5 days. US intelligence estimates 40% of the stolen funds go directly to North Korea's nuclear and ballistic missile programs. Over 100 missiles test-fired since 2022. But here's where it gets genuinely mind-bending. North Korea doesn't just hack. They have thousands of IT workers, based in China, Russia, and Laos, using AI-generated fake faces, fabricated resumes, and stolen identities to get remote jobs at real companies. Fortune 500 companies, American banks, aerospace firms, Silicon Valley startups. Real jobs, real salaries, all funneling back to Kim Jong-un. Some workers manage 6 or 7 fake identities simultaneously. 6 or 7 jobs at once, all running in parallel. One cybersecurity firm accidentally hired a North Korean who had altered their headshot with AI and passed their entire hiring process. In December 2024, a U.S. Department of Justice indictment named 14 DPRK nationals who earned $88 million over 6 years working at American companies. In March 2026, U.S. authorities sanctioned a Vietnam-based facilitator who converted $2.5 million for North Korean operatives. The crypto isn't just being stolen anymore, it's being earned by people who don't exist at companies that have absolutely no idea they've been infiltrated. Somewhere right now, a North Korean agent with an AI-generated face is on a Zoom call with a Fortune 500 company, collecting a paycheck, funding a nuclear program, and nobody in that meeting knows. That's a wrap for today. A president who used a volcano and a national treasury to win a PR war against the IMF. A ban that moved an entire industry overnight and didn't even stick. A tax so badly designed it funded Binance instead of the government. And a nuclear state quietly embedded inside the global tech economy. Governments are just as wild as the markets they're trying to control. If this blew your mind even a little, hit like and subscribe. We drop new episodes every week. We'll see you next time on C Daily Buzz.